and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading, but for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I post new videos every single day. And if you're looking for daily short tarot readings, I post on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. If you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Let's find out what the circle needs to know today. What does the circle need to know today? Okay, we have the Eight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. Wow, we have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords. And we have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck here. Interesting energies. Okay, this is an interesting message. And not at all what I was expecting. So, the reason why I'm hesitating is because as I was pulling out the cards, I felt like I had a very clear message. But then I pulled this Seven of Swords here, and that changed the connotation of everything for me. So, this is essentially what I'm getting here. You may feel a little stuck, or may feel like things are not moving as quickly as you would like. There may also be situations in regards to relationships, in regards to finance or success, that you are intentionally putting the blindfold on. And you're intentionally avoiding. Now, this could have to do with past traumas for those of you who are dealing with putting on the blindfold in terms of family. We have a tendency to, well, I guess it could be relationships in general, not just family. But we have a tendency to want to have the best people around us, which means that we sometimes will ignore certain red flags in hopes that that person will step up to who they need to be for themselves and who we want and need them to be for us. And that's not always the case. And so I'm seeing here that you're being warned. You're being warned that you have a tendency to do this when it comes to relationships. You have a tendency to underestimate yourself when it comes to achieving your goals, your finances, your long-term stability. And you have a tendency to underestimate how much control you have over your outcome, but also how much power you have in your ability. So I'm hearing that you need to start believing in yourself a little bit more here. And you need to put your confidence in yourself. But part of that requires you to break some of these illusions, some of these, I'm trying to figure out how to word it. This is going to sound weird, but you need to dash your hopes and dreams. And what I mean by that is the illusions of that. You need to stop putting your faith in other people who don't deserve you and don't deserve that faith. You need to stop looking at things in that perspective. And you need to start relying on your own instincts and yourself. And part of this issue with relationships comes down to a lack of trust in yourself. Because when we start hoping for other people to change, instead of looking at whether or not they actually have, what you're doing is you are intentionally putting the blindfold on and you are ignoring your higher self, because your higher self is not so easily deceived. And so that being said, your relationship to other people and the way that you view them has a lot to do with how much you trust and believe in yourself. And oftentimes, especially people who go through traumas, they have a hard time determining whether or not their lack of belief in something or them thinking something is fishy is the truth, or is their trauma talking. And so you're questioning all these things right now. And if you're not, then a situation is going to arise where you are going to be questioning these things. And there's going to be truth that's going to come crashing in. And the reason for this is there are people in your life right now who are taking advantage of you in one way or another. And they are leaving these breadcrumbs. So you see how this guy has taken these swords and he's like sneaking off, right? And in the background, there's a village or like tents of some sort. And he's sneaking off and he thinks he's getting away with it. But he's not as sneaky as he thinks he is, because he's leaving these swords behind, like a little breadcrumb trail as he's going. You're being warned of this because the Ten of Pentacles is a card of success in all areas of your life. It's a card of fulfillment. It's a huge abundance card. It's one of the best cards you can get in the deck. And notice how we have the Pentacles in various different areas, representative of you having fulfillment in the different areas of your life. But notice how this came after this card. If you're not careful, and you keep on this path where you're blindfolding yourself to relationships because you're afraid of solitude, you will undoubtedly gain your success because you're putting your efforts into it. And you will then undoubtedly have people in your life who will take advantage of those successes and attempt to steal them from you. And so this really has to do with your relationship to self. But these cards are also telling you that you really need to work on the way that you handle yourself when it comes specifically to relationships, romantic or non-romantic. And for some of you, finances really dive into that situation in some way that tie together very specifically. Maybe you're overgiving in that sense. Maybe you're one of those people who wants to provide for your friends and family. And so you're one of those people who will give money or give material, excuse me, or give material items or, whatever, support. That being said, you are more likely to have this guy come in and steal from you. And what's interesting though, is that the way the cards come out though, it's not so much that this person's sneakily trying to do it. It's that you're almost willingly giving them the Ten of Pentacles. And they're like, oh, gee, thanks. And they run off with it, thinking that they got away with it because you handed it over. It wasn't even a fight. So a lot of this seems to come down to either a fear of solitude or a fear of not trusting in yourself. So let's get a couple more cards here. I just heard not everybody deserves to be in your inner circle. Being in your inner circle is earned. It doesn't matter if it's family, if it's friends, who it is. Your inner circle is like your sacred space. It's the people that have the most access to you and your energy. And therefore that is an honor that you bestow on someone, that is not something that should be given lightly. And it is not something that anyone just automatically should have access to just because they're family or friends or whatever. Your inner circle is your sacred space, and you need to treat it as such, is what I'm hearing. We have the Six of Pentacles, so definitely feeling like some of you tend to overgive. So if you're one of those people who's doing well financially, you may be the type of person who very much is willing to give to others. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that. However, if you begin to overgive to the wrong people who are not appreciative of it, you're at risk of losing your own success by giving it away to people who don't deserve it. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, the 1111 card, and King of Swords on the bottom here. Oh, and the Devil. Okay. Yep. All right, so this is going to sound weird, but the way you break this cycle is loneliness is solved by solitude. Now, you're probably thinking that's counterintuitive because, well, if you're surrounded by other people, then in theory, you shouldn't be lonely. But that's not the case. How many times have you felt lonely even when you were surrounded by people? Loneliness is a lack energy. Loneliness is a fear of solitude. You need to learn, and this doesn't mean that if you're in a relationship, you need to break up with your partner. That's not what I'm saying. You can be alone and still be in a relationship. You're being asked to learn how to be in solitude without giving into these negative, false tendencies, these false oppressions, these false cycles. And you need to do that through your logic here. You need to start taking a hard look at how you are alone and how you are with people and the way you balance those two energies. Nobody ends up teaching you how to love someone in terms of you don't go to school and you go to a class that teaches you how to love. That's just something that isn't really done. And so that being said, for those of you especially who have been through traumas, it can be very difficult to understand the various types of love, what steps you need to take in order to have a healthy relationship and healthy love, whether it's friendships or relationships or whatever. And so you're being asked to take some time to spend alone. And this can look different to different people. It could be taking an hour to go for a walk, taking an hour to write in your journal, taking an hour to just be alone. And when I say alone, that doesn't mean watching television or being on social media. I mean alone, without those outside stimuli, not with music, not with, television, those social media, those things. Being alone, going for a walk, being alone with your own thoughts. You're being asked to reflect on how you are when you are alone. What thoughts come to mind? How do you feel? You're going to end up finding some unexpected things here are going to come to light. And it's going to give you new ideas on how you need to move forward. And it's going to align you with your higher purpose and align you to the path you're meant to be taking to reach your 10 of Pentacles. But this reading is coming to you as a warning that this whole way you view relationships and the choices and decisions you make in terms of relationships actually affect you in many different areas of your life. Not only your emotion, because we have a lot of cups on the table here, but very heavily in your finances. I mean, we have a lot of Pentacles cards on the table. And in your thoughts, we have a lot of swords on the table. Swords often have to do with your thoughts and the way that you react to different situations. So that being said, this is actually a very important breakthrough that you're meant to be having. Very important, because it's going to affect all aspects of your life, and it's going to help protect you so that you know what boundaries to draw, so that this guy doesn't come in and steal things from you and you don't give it away willingly to just anybody. I'm going to get one card from this Signs of the Time Oracle deck. Just one card to help you with this journey here. This card's been sticking out. Power lines, energy. Angel number 36 may mean something to you. So for those of you who are thinking of the pentacle cards as literal money or material goods, that can be the case. But you have to remember it can also be in the currency of energy and time. How much time and energy you are giving to certain situations. And so you're being asked to look at that as well. To look at the way your energy is affected by the choices you make in relationships. And the energy, whether it feels reciprocal or non-reciprocal, is going to be a big indication of what areas in your life need some work in terms of these decisions when it comes to relationships. Now, for others of you who it is physical finances, this could also mean your work. It could also mean that you are giving too much to your work and not enough to other areas of your life. Maybe you have a boss that takes advantage of you and takes advantage of your time. Maybe they give you unrealistic deadlines that you end up meeting through overworking because they know they can get away with it, because they know that you want to do well and you want to please. So take a look at the different types of relationships and the different types of currencies when it comes to making these decisions, because it may not all be so cut and dry. You may come to find, like I said, with this Page of Cups, this page is looking into a cup and a fish is popping out. You may come to find there's a lot of unexpected things that when it comes to your decisions with relationships that are not healthy, that you've been overlooking this whole time or making excuses for. And so take a look at your energy. Take a look at how you feel in different relationships. Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel tired? Do you feel like it's reciprocal? Do you feel angry or like they're taking advantage of you? Do you feel unappreciated? Take a look at these energies. Take a look at these relationships. Take a look at the choices and try to take the blindfold off. Take your emotions out of it. Look at it from a logical standpoint. Write out the facts and then go, wait a minute. Is this right? Is this really what I've been doing or where I've been putting my energy or what I've decided is what I deserve? And I have a feeling you're going to come to find, like with this Page of Cups, there's some changes that need to be made. All right, so this is your reading. If it resonated with you, don't forget to like this video. Your affirmation for this reading is solitude is the solution to loneliness. Because when you learn, a lot of times, well, first off, a lot of times the reason why we're overgiving in relationships is having to do with some sort of fear of solitude. We're either afraid of our own thoughts or afraid of being alone, or we are addicted to the validation that these relationships give us that we're not giving ourselves. That's why a lot of people get stuck in relationships, romantic ones, even though they know they're not working and they feel unfulfilled by them. They feel like they're not going to get anything better, or they're worried that nothing better will come along, and so they just put up with the bare minimum. So learning to be alone and learning how your own values, well, first, what they are, and second, how those values determine your decisions is very important, because you need people in your life. You don't have to have the same exact ideas and values for everything, but you do need to have reciprocal energies in terms of being around people who they may not value exactly what you value, but they'll respect your values. And so that being said, that takes, for that to even happen in the first place, that takes a huge level of self-awareness. And so you are being asked to learn to be more self-aware when it comes to the choices you're making in relationships. And so saying that solitude is the solution to loneliness is very accurate, because oftentimes a lot of these understandings and a lot of this self-awareness comes from getting comfortable with being in solitude. And so I very much would suggest that this weekend you take some time to be alone, or go do something that you normally would do with other people, like going out to eat. A lot of people don't like going out to eat by themselves, or going to a movie by yourself, things that you would normally do with your friends or with your family. Go and do it alone and reflect on that. Why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Or how does it make you feel? Maybe it's not uncomfortable. Maybe you come to realize, oh, I actually really like this. And you've just never given yourself that time. Start reflecting on these things. So thank you for stepping into my circle. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.